Welcome back to Speed Addicts Garage. On this episode, we are continuing to work on Kyle's Drift 240. It's LS powered. We're converting it to turbo. And in the process, we've already done the Hotside. We've already done the wastegate provision. This episode, we're working on the downpipe. So let's get right into it. Wow, we are using a max speeding rod GT45. We've already got the outlet flange, meaning that the flange that goes to the downpipe on, and as you can tell, this flange is freaking huge. To be exact, it's 4 inches, and this is what we're using right here. This is a Vibrant 4-inch UJ bend. There's the U, there's half of the J. I don't even know why well, I'll take it back. So this is the J, and then that's the U. I don't know, but it's a UJ bend. We got 2 45s we can use. We have a 45, and then we have a straight section that we can use. So again, Kyle uses this car only for drifting. So he wants to go all out, and when I say all out, he wants the exit of the downpipe to come out the hood. So we're gonna start with trying to snake it down through here, keeping it perpendicular or parallel with, you know, the line of the motor, the valve cover, and then we're gonna figure out how we're gonna kick it up. We're either gonna kick it straight up, or we might kick it to a little angle, might give it a little teardrop effect. And then we also have to take in consideration this Megan Racing upper strut brace. So it's gonna go under that, and it's gonna come out on this side. Into the mind of Demetrius. So what I'm trying to achieve, the pipe comes out kind of straight, aiming towards that direction. I want it to kind of straighten back up, and again, go perpendicular, parallel, whatever with the motor. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to look over it, straighten it up, and then I'm using this zip tie to figure out how to get my angle like I want it. So now I'm gonna trace it and I'm gonna cut it. And then I think the next step, we're gonna have to probably lengthen this a little bit because I want this bend to be right here at the round section of the strut tower. Hey, have I told you that 4 inches big? Yeah, huge. What happened when you go V8, baby? Made my first cut. It's got an angle in it, even though it don't look like it. From over here, it look like a straight piece. Put it in there. All I gotta do is subtract the difference from the end of this pipe, probably to about the middle of there. Take that measurement, cut it off this end, and we'll test fit it again. Or you can just eyeball it, AKA winging it. And I'm gonna wing it. Right there. Booyah! Off camera, I went ahead and got the pipe cleaned, tacked it up to the flange. But before I install this, I wanted to address a situation. This V-band, this V-band, when you try to put this thing on and you compress it all the way, I don't care how strong you are, you can't do it by one hand. I mean, when you do it with 2 hands, you get about that much stick out, which ain't hardly nothing. So what I ended up doing is I tack welded, basically made a cold weld, and added filler to kind of raise it up. And what I have to do is I have to use a pair of pliers to compress this thing in order to get this nut on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. That's all I got right there. Take this, put it on that little bump, put it right there. That give me just enough meat to get that joker started. I don't know who fault it is, but y'all messed up. For real, for real. Now I think I'm gonna cut this U-bend in half, because that's gonna kind of put me kind of back here where I need to go. Got too ahead of myself. This is kind of what I'm looking at. That looks pretty good, but there's 2 things. I'm touching back here on this, meaning that this whole assembly needs to move forward, which means I'm gonna have to cut the tacks and cut a little bit of material off of there. welds are already starting to crack. So I'm gonna clean this up on the belt sander, hit it with the convolute wheel, it'll look brand new. And then remember, this side I gotta cut a little short. So far, that's what it looks like tacked up. Got my last fitment check and my last level check. I think I'm ready to burn this in, and after that, the last piece of the puzzle is an oxygen sensor, and of course, we gotta add that special teardrop effect. Change out the Jazzy 10 to that glass BBW. A couple of days have passed, and now we're ready to finish the downpipe. Not sure if I showed everybody, but this is the downpipe, or excuse me, the up pipe. This is what we're working with so far. And now all we need to do is add a teardrop effect. So I'm gonna show you how to do the teardrop effect, and then also after that, we need to cut out the hood. I got the up pipe coming out the hood, probably in this area. But before we get to that, let's talk about this teardrop that we're gonna make. So I've already drawn the line on this 90-degree bend, but that's all a teardrop is, guys. All it is drawing a straight line from the bottom part of the U-bend or the bottom part of the 90 all the way across. So I use this angle finder, basically rough line up this side, line up the point with that. And then I went a step further and I used my laser. So all I'm gonna do is duplicate this, and then I'm gonna cut it with a 4.5-inch disc grinder. So before we attach this piece to that piece, we need to kind of trim out this section of the hood. I think I know my process on how I'm gonna go about doing it. This won't be my first time doing it, but in order to do it, we need to bolt that back up. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to trim this down a little bit, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close the hood and make us a template on this. You know, when the hood closes, it's kind of got like this kind of motion. You know, if you ever lower down a car don't lower straight down. Well, technically it do. Anyways, we're gonna lower the hood and we're gonna trim a little bit off, and then we're gonna make it work. Hit my bag on me. Stupid rims. So now that I got it trimmed down, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close the hood and see if I can try to trace around it, or I may put something on it and close the hood that will, you know, basically like grease or something that would transfer it. Probably not grease, but I'm gonna come up with a solution. That's kind of a start. What I do is take another spare piece of 4-inch pipe and trace around it. I decided to trace it a little bit more. Think that's gonna work. All we gotta do now is trim out that section, line the 2 pipes up, weld it up, and then the last piece of the puzzle is making a ring to go around this. I'm gonna cut the inside and then trim the outside.
Purchase your tracks today.
I had to do quite a bit of trimming, but I think I'm satisfied with that. I got more of a gap on this side than this side, but the ring that we'll be making will cover that up. My last final test is, can I open this hood without that piece falling off? Yup. So I'm gonna mark that and then we'll weld it up. That's gonna do it for this up-pipe fabrication video. On the next episode, we're gonna tackle the steering rack relocation kit and we're gonna modify the lower radiator support. Stay tuned.